Right, so I think it's quite obvious, judging by the title, that today we're going to be doing the exhaust on it. So what I've heard some people doing these is they take the back box off, cut it open and modify the inside of it to try and make it louder, which is a brilliant idea because we don't need to buy another exhaust for it and it doesn't cost much to do. So let's go back, dive straight into it and get this one off. Right, so of course now all we need to do is get it off, and I think there's a few 30mm bolts and a few 18, so I'll show you where those are. Right, so I'm going to start off with the two 30mm exhaust clamps which hold us on to the middle section of the exhaust, and I don't think these have been done in quite a while because there's a lot of corrosion and a lot of grit on them, and even after countlessly going back and forth with them and spraying them with some fluid, they were still a bit of a pain. So I ended up having to hold one end with a pair of mall grips and trying to undo them bit by bit. So we need to try and undo these as much as we can to try and lift the clamp apart to push it out the way so we can pull the back end of the exhaust off. And now that we've loosened both of those off, we just need to pull them apart and push them out the way. Now the next thing we need to do is undo the two 80mm bolts which hold the exhaust bushes onto the subframe. Now that we've got both of those done, we just need to pull them off and give it a little wiggle. And now we need to try and prise the rear bushes off, which were a bit of a pain if I'm honest, but I thought this would be a bit of a better option than trying to get to the actual bolts at the top. But to be fair, if I was to do this again, I probably would just undo the bolts. And eventually, after enough fluid and enough persuasion, they came off. Now we've got those off, we just need to undo the two at the side, which is where I found another issue. Right, so I've just found now that this earth has completely disintegrated and just vanished. So I'll have to get another one of those, but for now we'll just get the back box off. So now we just need to undo the two 30mm bolts, hold each side on and we can pull it off. Right, now it's all off, let's pull out of the way and properly get started. Right, so now it's off the car, I'll show you what the plan is. The whole idea then is to cut away here and here to make a little opening and a hole on each side so that we can pull this out the way and do something about the inside. And I'm also going to do something about the tips on it. So I was thinking about buying new ones for it, but what I've seen some people do is they take these off and they cut them down and give them like a straight or a slash cut. To get this off, what I need to do is drill these rivets out and then we should be able to pull them off. That's what I'm hoping for at least. So let's get these off, get this cleaned up and we can just get into it. Right, so I'm going to cut along these marks here and remove the outer skin of it. What I'm going to do first though is I'm going to drill these rivets out and get these tips off. Right, so to get these rivets out, I'm going to start off by drilling each of the heads off, followed off by a smaller drill to try and get the centre bit out, and then using a centre punch and a hammer to try and tap the rest of it out. And to be honest, a few of these didn't exactly go to plan, so I had to drill them a couple of times just to try and get them off. And now that we've got one side out, we just need to turn it over and do the others. And now that we've drilled all the rivets out, we can start to try and take them off. The first one was quite easy to get off, but the others I had to try and tap away at to try and prise them off. Right, now I've got those off, we'll get the grinder out, we'll get started cutting. So I did my best trying to follow the lines. And as you can probably see now, some of these lines I made were completely futile. But at the end of the day, does it matter? Not really. Anyway, let's get on with it and cut some pockets out. Right, so now I've cut into these, we can pull these plates off. Which should be easy. Also I thought. So now that's out of the way, we just need to pull the packing out so we can take a look on the inside. Right, so now we've cut into this and we've taken the packing out. You can see inside of here, there are these pipes which are perforated. They've got loads of little holes in them, which the sound will get out of and be absorbed by the packing that's in it. So the whole idea in doing this is to basically blank these off completely, and that should give us more noise. I'm not going to go quite as far as that. I think if we were to do both of them, that's called a 2-pipe mod. But what I think I'm going to do is a 1.5 or 1.75 mod or whatever it is. I'm not too sure if that's right, but it confuses me a bit. So the plan is to basically blank this off, and that kind of makes it a bit louder and gives you a bit more depth to it. Right, so now I've explained that, I need to figure out how I'm going to blank these off. So I'm thinking either cut a bit of pipe up, put it on, or some sort of exhaust tape or wrap, whatever you want to call it, and that should cover that up, and we'll put some hose clips around it to hold it on. So I'm going to have a bit of a dig around and try and figure it out. Right, to cover these holes up then, I'm going to start off with some aluminium foil tape, and I'm just going to wrap it around these and probably leave a little gap on each one that I've not wrapped up, and that'll be a 1.75. And if we did the whole thing, it'd be like a 2-pipe mod, but I think that'll be a bit much. So let's get this wrapped up and you'll see what I mean. Right, so let me try and explain this quickly so you can make some sense of it. So a 2-pipe mod would be if we were to fully cover both of these pipes up. A 1.75 mod would be if we were to leave about 20 to 30% not covered up, and then a 1.5 mod would be leaving around 50% on each not covered up. So that's my understanding of it. Anyway, let's get on with it. Right, so the aluminium foil tape is basically like the first layer, and it's just to cover up the perforated holes. And if I'm honest, in some areas it's quite tricky to try and fully wrap it around the pipes and get it into all of the difficult areas. Right, now it's done, we'll put some protection on and do the second layer. Right, so for the second layer, we're going to start off wrapping it with some exhaust heat wrap, and this is exactly why I put gloves on, because this stuff is so itchy. Anyway, once it's cut to size and we've wrapped it around, we're going to clamp it down with some hose clips. And to be fair, it took me a few attempts on each pipe trying to get everything right. Quite difficult trying to hold the wrap down at the same time as getting the hose clip over it. If I was to do this again, to be fair, I probably should have got a bigger clamp. Something around 70mm would probably be perfect for doing this. And as for the inch gap, I've used a bit of guesstimation to try and do it by eye, but take a look for yourself. Right, so it's all done now, and honestly it was so fiddly trying to get all of that exhaust wrap around it and get the clamps at the same time, but we got there in the end, and judging by the gap in it, I'm not entirely sure if you'd call it a 1.75 or probably more like a 1.9 to be fair. I'm not too sure. But now we're ready to put that packing back in. We can get the plates welded on, and then we can put it on the car, and I'm hoping it's going to be just where we want it to be. So let's get on with it and get that packing in. And now I've got that in, we just need to put the plates on and weld them back on. Right, so now I've got them roughly in place, let's get welding. So first of all, we're going to tap them into place by putting a few small welds in each corner. So we're doing this to roughly hold them in place because we might need to make a few adjustments, which on this one I did. This one didn't line up quite right, so I had to cut the weld off, pry it up and try and weld it back into place. Apart from this though, the rest of it was fine, so I could just carry on running the bead along the rest of it and the other side. The only thing on the other side, I just had to pry it up a little bit and it was fine. Right, so that's the back box sorted. Before we put this back on, we need to sort the tips out. And I know someone now will come along and tell me how bad my welding is. I know it's not great, but I'm not a welder anyway. It should hold up, so let's sort the tips out. But hang on a minute, so let's cut the fluff. I'll cut to the short of it. I made a mess of one of them, so I might have to look into some different options. But for now, I'm going to have to carry on, cut it down, see how they turn out, and I think they're going to turn out awfully. But we can get it back on the car at least and get some other tips at a later date. Anyway, let's see how we get on and hopefully we can save them. So I tried giving these a slash cut and I messed the angle up on one of them a little bit. I went it too far and I tried my best to save it. So just carried on cutting and grinding them to all make them look like the same angle. And I know it's not a perfect scenario, but for now they'll have to do. Right, so after a fair share of cutting, I've got the tips looking half decent. They don't exactly look dreadful, they don't exactly look great. To be fair, I did make a bit of a mistake on that one down there, but like I say, I've tried to cover it up, but for now these will have to do. I will get some others at a later date. Anyway, that's all sorted, so let's put this back on the car and see what it's like. Right, so fitting it back on, I pretty much did in the exact reverse of how I took it off. So I started off getting everything roughly into place and pushing it back into those two back bushes, and then doing the ones at the front with the 18mm bolt. Right, so I've got the exhaust done out. I just need to try and sort those earth straps out, and I'm going to pop out because it's just started raining. So hopefully by the time I get back, it should stop. So one sec. Okay, so I've got a pair of new earth straps, and I got them from Health Rules for about £2 each, which ain't bad. So let's get them on. So trying to undo this at first, it was actually quite stiff, so I was a bit worried about breaking it. So I got the blowtorch out to try and heat it up to make it a bit easier to get off, followed off by a bit of impact, and it came off pretty easily. So now I just need to put new earth on, as well as clamping both of these bolts back down. So I found out this earth is actually to do with the DAB or radio reception, so it doesn't make too much of a difference, but I thought while we're here it's a good idea. Right, so they're done now. I just need to put these tips on, so I haven't done it yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 little slips on and just clamp them on with a hose clamp, because those rivets aren't going to line up now, as you can probably tell. So that should work. Let's put some slips in and we can just clamp them on. So I know they're not the best clamps or the cleanest cuts, but it should be okay. So let's get them on. Right, so it's all done now. It's all dropped down. Cold start. Right, so already on cold start this thing sounds so good. Of course we've got to take it out now and see what it's actually like when we're driving it, and hopefully it's not too much and it's, you know, just about right. Right, so I'm going through a lovely little charming Northamptonshire village right now with my obnoxiously loud V8, and to me on the inside it doesn't seem too obnoxious at all, which is pretty good. On the outside is, however, a different story. Do you know one thing I love as well about this now? I'll open the window a bit. I don't know if you can hear it. That, oh, that sounds good. Right, as you can probably hear there, this thing sounds absolutely brilliant. I'm so happy with it. Anyway, let's go on a proper drive and open it up. So good. It's not really even that bad. Like, it's made pretty much no difference when you're inside the car, like everyday driving. It doesn't drone or anything like that, but it just makes it sound so much deeper. It's brilliant. Whoever thought of this, to do this first, you were a genius, because it's probably one of the best things that you could do to one of these. Like, genuinely, like, hats off to you, because instead of buying a brand new £1,000 or whatever exhaust, using the factory system, spending 50 to 100 quid to make it sound like this. So good. Right, so it's a happy medium from it being too quiet and too loud, and for what it's worth, I kind of wish it was a little bit louder sometimes, but at the same time, on the flip side, I'm not doing all of that again. I don't feel like doing all of that again, and I think you can do it a little bit more, and then it's just going to become too much. So, like I say, it's pretty much bang where we want it to be. Would you call it a 1.75 mod? I don't really know, to be honest, but whatever I've done to it, it sounds perfect. It just sounds like how it should have sounded when it came out of the factory. It's got so much more like growl to it than it did before. I was debating, you know, you get those M Performance exhausts, which I think everyone literally just fantasises about because they sound amazing. I did really want one of those, but for what they cost, I couldn't justify it, because a new one of those as well would literally cost me near enough what I paid for the car, which to me makes almost no sense. But I mean, considering I've paid £6,000, let's say, round that, all in for this car, to me it seems a bit stupid. If you've got a really nice example, yeah, it's probably worth it, but this is just my clapped out old 209,000 mile salvage M3. I love it, it's brilliant, it's perfect for me. And another thing that I've noticed with this car, which sounds a bit weird, I don't know if you've heard it or you've noticed it, is it doesn't do it all the time. It's really weird, but I can't figure out what it is right now. But it's only when I put my throttle down a very small bit, you can hear like a whistling noise, and it sounds kind of like it's coming from over there and on the intake. I ain't sure what that is, to be fair, so I'll have to look into that and figure out what that is, because I ain't got a clue. It's so weird. Right then, so let's pull over. And I know now some of the haters are going to say that I've ruined this and should have left it alone. Well, at the end of the day, I think it should have come like this from factory. It sounds loads better. And yeah, I will agree with you, I have ruined the exhaust tips, but I can just buy a new set and bolt them on. I'm not fussed, I think it sounds absolutely perfect. You can't tell me that I've ruined it when it sounds that good. And even though the camera might not do it justice, right, honestly, I'm so happy with how it's turned out. It's been well worth it. Considering we haven't really done too much to it, it's made a huge difference to how it sounds. I don't even know if the camera's making any justice to it or making much of a difference, but in real life, it sounds incredible now. It sounds so much deeper, it's so much louder. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now, so make sure you tap down below, hit subscribe, and of course, see everything else that we've got coming up. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in a bit.